How she did it. Bonnie Neal doubled her income and within less than a year. This is the inside story to Bonnie Neal, who is a loan originator at Canopy Mortgage. That's right, Canopy. Oh,
That's correct.
yep. And so I'm just here to interview my dear client and friend, Bonnie. We're still working together, but I just want to have a moment to share with everyone what happened in our coaching relationship. It's just been such a joy to work with you over this time frame. So welcome. And if you don't mind, I just kind of want to jump right into the first question and kind of share your amazing story.
Okay.
So share with us, like, how are you feeling about yourself and money before we began working together?
I think I had felt in this, I guess I felt very combative with money, and that it had been something that I kind of equated in my mind with overworking. I was kind of a recovering workaholic and had gone sort of back and forth in my career from these real high performing, high achieving, high paying jobs that kind of sort of took over my life.
Yeah.
And then when I burnt out, I went to kind of under earning and underachieving and underpaying. And then I would panic
Kind
about
of
money.
like seesaw back and forth.
Yeah, I'd gone through this pattern enough times to be like, oh, there's a pattern, and wanted to break it, but I didn't quite know how. I didn't know how to make a lot of money without working a lot. So I was in this really kind of like anger, resenting kind of place with money and with work and kind of with everything that goes with it.
Yeah, because what I remember is like you had this really strong drive when you were working in corporate, from what you told me. I wasn't working with you back then, but you had this strong drive that went into overdrive, and then you would just get burnt out. And so then you were like, felt negative about money, and then you would kind of retreat to the soft place of under earning. And so yeah. And what were some of the fears that you had about money when we actually started getting in there and coaching together?
I think that I had a deep belief that money made you a bad person, and I think that came from a lot of family history with money. My grandmother was quite wealthy and not a particularly loving human, and I'd had some experience working in the corporate world with people who were used money as a excuse for bad behavior.
So you had kind of this negative association with money.
Right. Yeah. And that, I didn't want to be a bad person, and that meant that I shouldn't make a lot of money.
Yeah. And so what were the fears that came with that? Kind of like, I don't like money, so I'm not going to make a lot of money. Like, what were the underlying fears that went along with that belief?
That making a lot of money made me a bad person, right?
So did you feel like you feared, just fill in the blank here, like, if I make a lot of money, then what's going to happen?
If I make a lot of money, I will be making it off of other people's misery or other people's misfortune. That making a lot of money is not a worthwhile life goal. That money as an end in of itself is a bad goal.
And yet you also had a desire for money, right?
I did, and I had a fascination with it. I have a minor in economics, so it was supposed to be a double major, but I ran out of money. And I've always been fascinated by economics, by finance. I worked as a trader. I come from a line of bankers. I like money. I have always intellectually really enjoyed it and really understood it, and played with it, and worked really hard to make a lot of money for other people. But I had a real kind of block with the idea of making it for myself without overworking.
Yeah. And so would you agree that back when we started, you were given your intelligence, education, and drive, you were under earning?
Yes. Well, and had noticed that and was kind of frustrated with it. Like I knew that, you know, as I said, I knew that I'd spent a lot of my career putting my intelligence, my education, my drive, my passion towards the benefit and enrichment of other people, you know, other
Mhm.
companies, other bosses, and but never really having anything to show for myself, and really kind
Yeah.
of was trying to make a change in my life, right? To
Mhm.
mm, you know, put my own gifts and drives towards my own benefit, and
Yeah.
frustrated about why that had taken so long to do and why it seemed so hard to do.
Mhm.
And and
Yeah.
us working together was a real catalyst for me to figure out how to get out of my own way,
Mhm.
and get on my own side, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
So tell us about when you did in our work together get spiritually connected to money and you met your money soulmate.
So this is the strangest story, and I do tell it to people, and they do kind of look at me strangely. So just bear with me. Sorry. Uh, yeah, no, the spiritual connection manifested for me as a bear, as a large brown grizzly bear,
That's your money
and
soulmate.
yeah, as my
Mhm.
money soulmate, which
Mhm.
is like ironic in a lot of different ways, right? You know, considering my background as a trader, right? A bear market being kind. Well, anyway, it's very entertaining, and lots of people have laughed about it, but it.
Oh, and I'm realizing I need to interject here. Like for you people listening, you may not know what a money soulmate is. And so in my body of work, I help women entrepreneurs get spiritually connected to money. And I take them on this meditation where they're going on this meditation. I get them spiritually connected first, right? And then I take them on this meditation where they are looking and searching for their money soulmate. It's like an archetype. And when you find it, it's like a solid way to connect to money. So
Yes.
sorry to interject that, but I just realized we need to like explain where we're going here.
Because I mean, it's an odd thing. This is one of the more odd things.
Mm-hmm.
But bear, it works. It just kind of works. Bear is kind of the personification of the spiritual power of money and how I think of money, and that it is strong, and it is big, and it is infinite in its way, and playful, and wise, and strong, and powerful.
So you have to know, like, I'm sitting in the coaching chair here because I'm just remembering all the times that we've done coaching where you got afraid and then we got you connected to bear again. And just like, can I share some of the things that
Oh,
you and
sure,
bear?
yeah.
Like they play in the river and they
Oh, we did.
splash and they take walks in the woods and they lay together and look at the sky. And like I've just seen her get so connected to her bear. Like bear is a big thing.
Yes, and bear is a constant in my life. It is the strongest spiritual connection I think I've ever had. I literally have a bear tattoo on my wrist. A bear is with me at all times, um, and I have bears everywhere. Like I've got pictures of bears all over my house, all over my
That's
phones and my
awesome.
screensaver. Because the connection with bear with money helps me remember to be grounded, remembers to be centered, remembers that
Mhm.
that it's a flow, that it's an energy, and that this energy is huge, and infinite and abundant, and kind of all of those words, so that I can get really lost in the minute details, especially the minute details that are right in front of me. I tend to be a little kind of crisis driven at times, and these are the things that make Bear laugh, right?
He's
And
very like playful
he's very playful.
because everyone's money soulmate is different, and Bonnie's money soulmate is just like I feel like Bear is like quiet and playful and fun and like loving.
Yes,
Are
yes,
those some
all
of
of
them?
those things, loving,
Yeah.
and it forces me to take myself much less seriously, and that just being able to kind of switch your mindset, and have a, a source inside of you that
Mm.
just changes the way you're thinking, and changes the way you're feeling, kind of the moment you just dial into them.
Hmm.
Amazing.
Yeah. And now that, like in our coaching process, once you really learned how to connect to bear and how to turn to bear when you were feeling afraid, like share with us what happened in your business, like what happened with your income.
My income just kind of exploded. Once I started like working with Heidi and really kind of connecting with Bear and really kind of letting go of some of the things I believed about money, that I had to work hard for it. You know, I had to
Mhm.
overwork for it.
Mhm.
I had to workaholicism for it. I had to work with people I didn't like for it. A lot of things about my business suddenly became clear, because I was new to the industry and I was building my business and I was kind of
Mhm.
taking advice from everyone and doing a little bit of this, doing a little bit of that, doing kind of
Yeah.
everything. And working with Heidi and working with Bear helped me. It just kind of crystallized it. I started understanding what I liked about this job, what I liked about this industry, uh, who I wanted my client to be, what I wanted to give for my clients, what kind of experience I wanted to do, who I wanted to be,
Mhm.
as a business owner, and who I wanted to be kind of as a human being,
Mhm.
talking about money, helping
Mhm.
people with money. You know, a lot of what my job is communicating and educating people about money, and
Yeah,
having
because you really honed in our work together on exactly who you wanted to work with.
yes,
And other professionals may have even said, no, you don't want to target that market, but you knew in your heart, like it's who you wanted to work with. And it's like your business has exploded through your connection to the
yes,
people you love.
yeah,
Yeah.
and just continuing to just be honest, right?
Mm-hmm.
To be honest about, what I want, what I think, how I think of money, you know, how I relate to money. Uh, be respectful, be playful, be be honest. I mean, honestly, the honesty
Mm-hmm.
about money is, I think, kind of
Yeah.
the core fundamental, cornerstone of our relationship,
Oh my
right?
gosh.
And
Yeah, because before when it was just like not bare and it was just like money's over there and I don't really like it, like probably easier to not be honest about your own finances because there was no one that you had to chat with or report to like it, but now that it's you and Bear together, like I can't even imagine you not paying attention to your spending plan and not paying
right.
attention to your finances because that's y'all's relationship.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's fun. I remember you telling me it's so much fun to check in on my spending plan, and I'm like, I know this is insane, and it's true. It really is. It
You
was one of
didn't
the
think it was
hardest
going
things
to be
for me.
fun and now I got you into it.
You know, but you're right. It is fun. It is fun now
It is
because,
fun.
you know, because Bear and I get into conversation about exactly how many, Audible books do we need to buy a month. You know,
Yeah.
and he's
And
like,
what we track increases. So
yes,
it does create increase. Yeah.
hmm, yeah,
And
and
so you like share how things have changed with your finances since we started working together.
uh, wow, just it's been it's been like on a personal level and then like on a practical level. So let me kind of
Mhm.
break that down a little
Yeah.
bit, right?
Yeah.
The personal milestone for me was when I left corporate. I think I tell you this, when I left the corporate world, I left at the top of my earning salary potential, right?
Mhm.
And I left with a huge savings. I was going to buy a house. I was going to do all these things. And then I quit this high performing job because it was killing me. And I made a promise to myself that I was going to give myself 2 years to figure out what I'm doing. Uh, and that I would go back and I would be making that again, right? You know, that salary point was, that was, I was going to prove to myself that I could get there again. Uh,
Foreshadowing.
exactly. And so I got there and exceeded there this year. Uh, Working with Heidi, I did not have. I kind of like a higher goal, and that she pushed me to make, and I was like, I don't really know. I was like, that's more than like this mental threshold I was thinking of, and she's like, no, just do
Mhm.
it. And I passed that this month, and the year's not over. I
Oh
know,
my
right?
God. Yeah, baby.
And it's weird because like I'm going back to the you know, the person I was 4 years ago and being like, no, we did this and we did it. We did it.
Yes.
We're there and we're gonna make more. And we
Yeah.
kept our
And it's
promise to
so,
ourselves.
what's up?
That we kept our promise to ourselves, and
Yes.
It's powerful.
It is powerful. And it's so interesting because I really don't believe if I had come in as the tough love coach right off the bat saying, just put your goals up there and do it and make it happen, I don't believe it would have happened. But I think it's that we made it a priority for you to not overwork and to tune into yourself and love yourself and use Bear in your relationship as the conduit for creating slow but steady success that you could build on. So it just feels like we really like put in that strong foundation for you. And I think it's through you having different emotions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Well, because when you're in sales, in which I think all entrepreneurs are on some level in sales, like sales aren't hard, except, right? You get in your own way, and that's what makes sales hard.
Yeah.
Sales aren't hard as long as you can just handle your own emotions. And that is the most difficult thing about sales is handling your own emotions. And
yeah. So you don't project onto your clients your own stuff.
And, you know, what Bear has taught me is that there are no wrong emotions, right? But just have them.
Yeah.
There's some silly ones that, you know, are really kind of silly. And then there's some unhelpful ones that are also kind of unhelpful. But
right.
They all matter and they're all good and they're all here for a reason. Keeping that promise to myself from 4 years ago was really powerful. And I didn't even realize it actually until you asked me.
Because like you're building trust with yourself when you meet that goal. It's like you are proving to yourself, like you said. And that trust of that allows you to get to the next level. So like 2020, baby.
I'm excited about 2020.
Yes.
I really am. I think it's gonna be a hell of a year. 2019's been a hell of a year. Honestly, we've had some amazing years. And yeah, I'm excited about it. I think I don't know. What I like so much about where I am right now is that I feel really connected to individuals who are bravely buying their first house. I feel really connected to them and their experience. I feel really connected to the overall market and where it is with interest rates and why it's kind of crazy with interest rates and where it's going to go next year. I don't know. I feel that there's a lot of different ways in which money is moving the world that I feel a part of.
And we're the game changers for moving things forward in a positive way with money. Because there are people that use the energy of money in negative ways for negative means. So this is just kind of something interesting to point out. This is my belief, but it's like, I believe money is spiritual energy that God and the universe have provided for us. It's always there. It's infinite. So we as humans, we as flawed humans with egos and issues and whatever, like when we connect to money, we can either have this negative kind of relationship where we're trying to control money or we let money control us, or we can have this aligned relationship where we're earning at the level that we should be earning. We feel really spiritually connected. And then we're sharing that with the world in a really positive way. Which I hear that with your clients, like you're so aligned with them and you're creating this amazing experience for them. And that's why your name is just like spreading like wildfire. Like people are like, okay, Buddy Deal is your woman. You need to go to her.
I'm enjoying that. I really am. It's that most of my referrals come from my former clients, which is just an amazing compliment. I love it.
Yeah. And so that kind of touched like on the personal level of how things have changed for you with money. And what about like your finances, like your spending plan, your debt, your investments, your stuff like that?
All of it. I know more about my own money more than I think I ever have. I understand exactly where my investments are. I understand exactly where my debt is. I've got a plan.
You said you have a handle on your debt now, right?
I do. I have a handle on my debt. I've got a plan for it. I've also got a savings plan. I've got a business account. I've got a personal account. There's a there's enough in each of it that makes any sense. Like there's plentiful in each. And
Yeah. I just
I,
wanted to interject. This is so interesting. Like the spending plans, because we go in deep in the spending plan work when we start working together as coach and client, because the spending plan, people can think, oh yeah, I have a budget or whatever, because that's what spending plans are. It's a budget. They can think, oh yeah, I have that already taken care of. But then they haven't had a coach's eyes looking at the numbers with them, because inevitably there's something that they're unaware of. Like, can I share a little bit about what I remember about yours, just about your savings? Like, I remember you thinking that you didn't have enough. I remember you knowing that you wanted to get this huge amount of savings,
mm-hmm.
right? But it seemed like you believed that that wasn't possible in this period of time that we were targeting.
Right.
But then when we really looked at the numbers, we found a way to shift things. Oftentimes for people, it's increasing the ability that they believe they can create with their income. So that's one way we do it, is like, oh, well, you could create more income. But also just looking at the numbers that are there and we know will be there, sometimes it's shifting the priorities and like decreasing the spending in some areas. And when savings is the priority and that's like gelled, like, yes, this is my priority, there's always a way to shift everything else.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly.
Because I remember doing that with you on your spending plans, you screen sharing and us looking at it together. And it's like, when we finally rearranged it and we saw, oh yeah, you can get to your savings goal. Yes. It was just like, awesome.
Yes. And that was that. Yeah. I mean, it's one thing to hope and wish. It's another thing to like actually see the numbers.
Yes.
Like, oh, when we're down into the nitty gritty, no, this is actually doable. This is totally doable. Like this is.
Yeah, it is. It's like on a cellular level, we change when our numbers change. Because thinking about it and fantasizing about it and imagining it and being in that strong mindset, those are all things we have to do on a daily basis as entrepreneurs. But when the numbers shift, it's just life-changing.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
Cool. So just to kind of wrap up, like through our coaching together, what do you think are some of the biggest breakthroughs that you've had, both personally and with money?
Well, I think one of the biggest ones, and honestly one of the earliest ones, was the break with my family, my family's story around money. I did not realize how much that particular, I don't know.
Narrative, right?
Yeah, psychic
like narrative. Or like a narrative, was it a narrative kind of going on in your mind, like from your history and your family kind of been passed on?
Yeah, and to feel just utterly divorced from that, to feel just kind of taken completely out of that narrative, it continues to be remarkably powerful. Because it's my relationship with money is now mine, and it's the past is the past, and the future is mine, right? And to feel that. To feel that family and family money doesn't even factor into my world, but I can buy what I want, quote Beyonce, right? Like I got it. I got my house. I got my shoes. I provide for me, right?
Yeah, baby.
I don't have to count on parents. I don't have to count on family. I can live and exist outside of that. That was really powerful.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, what we do in the coaching work is we go in deep to find out, first of all, what happened in your family. And then to redefine, is that what you want to continue happening? Which is usually a big no. And so then we cut the cords, like let that stuff go. We excavate and release all the old stuff on a very deep level. Mm-hmm. And so then after that, when you're getting aligned with your money soulmate and creating your vision, and it's in this aligned way where you're creating it the way you want, it really is this independent money relationship that is separate from how your family has done it. It's separate from how your friends have done it. It really is about you and money.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that was wildly powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, just confronting my relationship with like workaholism, right? To really focus on getting in a much healthier relationship with work itself, right?
Yeah.
And having balance in my life for work, for art, for friends, for having balance. Whoa, that's a thing. Whoa.
And so many things like grow out of that fertile soil when
Mm-hmm.
you commit to that fertile soil of, I don't work those hours anymore. I
Mm-mm.
put myself first, and I don't work with those kind of clients, and I don't do that shit. Like when you commit to what you really want and then place the seeds in that, like the things that I see like growing in your life right now, and I won't share all your personal stuff, but it's just like, oh my God, she's just like blossoming.
Yes, it
She's
feels that way.
truly blossoming as a human being.
It does. It
And
does.
everyone has that potential, but not everyone does the work. Because I remember when we first started coaching together, the person across the coaching screen for me in our Zoom calls, like we're doing now, was a totally different person than the person I'm looking at and talking to today. Like your energy and your vibration have totally shifted.
I believe that. I
You
just think
feel that?
where we were this time last year.
Yeah.
Just it's been a transformative year. It really has.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you to the friend that connected us.
Oh my
You know,
God,
you know who you are. That connected us to work together, and yeah, it's just been a beautiful experience to be your mentor and to be here for you and to just watch you grow and blossom.
It has been an amazing experience. Thank you so much, Heidi. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Okay, well, thanks for joining us and for hearing about Bonnie Neal's story about how she doubled her income. And it's just such a blessing to work with her. And I hope you got some really yummy nuggets to kind of digest about your own money relationship and how you're showing up in that relationship. And Bonnie, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Oh, thanks for asking. Thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you.